What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Pre-Race Pulse right here on Racing America. This is the show that sets you up for everything you need to know on the weekend, episode 14 already. I'm Alan Cavanna. NASCAR heads to Iowa Speedway this weekend, and I'm wearing a sweet Rusty Wallace throwback. What's the connection? I'll explain coming up here in a minute. But first, we start every episode off with the news. The biggest news coming out of the Brickyard is in the Xfinity Series. NASCAR has suspended Austin Hill for this weekend's race in Iowa because of his actions at the Brickyard. He took out Eric Almirola with a right rear hook. At first, his team, Austin Hill's team, Richard Childress Racing, tried to argue against the call, but there's video, there's data. Heck, Austin Hill even wears white gloves. You could see kind of the movement in the car. A suspension is nothing new. We've seen moves like this before. What is new is that this year there is a rule along with the suspension for missing a race. Austin Hill will lose all of his playoff points. All those points you get for winning races, for winning stages that help you in the playoffs, those are gone, and he'll start with 0 when the playoffs begin. We'll see just how big the suspension and penalty is when the playoffs begin. More driver news from the Xfinity Series. Kaulig Racing announced that it has parted ways with its driver Josh Williams immediately. Williams had been a full-time driver for the team for the last few years. Kaulig says they will still run that car, just with multiple drivers, with more announcements coming soon. Williams himself put out a statement thanking his fans, calling it a tough time for his family, but says his plans will be announced in the near future. Finally, The Athletic reports sources are telling reporter Jordan Bianchi that NASCAR will not return to Mexico City in 2026. NASCAR made its debut in Mexico this season with both the Xfinity Series and Cup Series, and the return was still up in the air, but Bianchi reports logistics are just getting in the way for 2026 and the series will not return. Instead, he is reporting that the series will return to Chicagoland Speedway, not the street course, the raceway, the 1.5 mile track out in Joliet where NASCAR raced years ago. It's an intermediate track. They're hoping for good things with this Gen 7 car. So again, the report from The Athletic, no Mexico City in 2026 and a return to Chicagoland for next season. Let's get to our hot topics of the week. Our friends at NBC take over the broadcasting responsibilities once again. Here's a breakdown of how to watch NASCAR on NBC, USA, Peacock, and the NBC Sports app in 2025. It all starts this weekend at Iowa Speedway, where for the next 14 weeks through the Cup Series Championship at Phoenix Raceway on November 2nd, 4 races will appear on NBC and simulcast on Peacock. That's Daytona, Talladega, Martinsville, and the season finale in Phoenix. The remaining 10 races will air on the USA Network. For more information on how to watch the remaining races for the rest of the season in the Cup Series, just head over to NASCAR.com. Some fun news for Iowa native Joey Gase. He is joining the Cup Series field this weekend. Yes, he will pilot the number 66 Garage 66 Ford Mustang Dark Horse with primary sponsorship from King of the Hill on Hulu. Unclear if this car is powered by propane. Sorry, I had to go there. But it is his debut for the NASCAR Cup Series this season anyway, and his 92nd career start in NASCAR's top division. For more on all these stories, don't forget to head to Racing America on SI. Iowa Speedway, 0.875 miles, so it's a short track, and it was designed by first ballot Hall of Famer NASCAR driver, yeah, you guessed it, Rusty Wallace. Fun fact, the address for Iowa Speedway is actually Rusty Wallace Boulevard. It is a high-speed track that has variable banking, so it gives drivers a lot of options, and drivers love that. It's physically demanding. Drivers love that, especially the fans, and there are so many fans up there in the Midwest. That's why it's fun to see the community go out there and finally get a cup race. Now, this track was modeled after Richmond International Raceway. Not the same. Richmond's a little shorter, so this one's a little faster, a little longer. And we don't have a big notebook to look back on for the Cup Series anyway, because they've only been there one time, and that was last year. And Ryan Blaney put on a show, got the checkered flag, but he was closely pursued by the Hendrick boys of William Byron and Chase Elliott. So the best of the best seem to do well there. We'll see what happens this weekend for the second Cup race at Iowa Speedway. As we said, doubleheader this weekend at Iowa. You can watch the Xfinity Series race Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern on the CW. And of course, the big race, the Cup race on Sunday, 4:30 Eastern on the USA Network. All right, let's pick some winners. Look, we're racing in the middle of a cornfield. It's Iowa. I'm going with the car that always has corn on its side. That's Justin Allgaier in the Xfinity Series. I think he wins on Saturday. He's a veteran. He can do this. On Sunday, I'm going with a short track ace, Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's been running far too well lately not to be a top contender this weekend. He gets it done on Iowa. What do you think of my picks? Who do you think's going to win? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for joining us here today. You can catch this show every Thursday, 6 p.m. right here on Racing America as we preview the upcoming NASCAR race. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, give us a follow, stay up to date on all the news, and we will see you here next week. Have a good one.